Hey, cool, peace. KSVID here, lovely to see you. Welcome back to Monday Report. It's a Monday morning, so this is where I jump on and let you know what it's like to be an independent musician and home studio owner and all that type of stuff. So, if you like what you see, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up because that helps me reach other people. Hit that bell, ka-ching, I think it's down there, and that will let you know when there's new videos for you to watch. So, let's have a look at what I did last week and then what I'm doing this week. Cool. Monday Report. I'd like to say thank you to my Patreons, my patrons. Fantastic. Thank you for all your support. Really, really means so much to me. If you'd like to see what it's like in the crew, there's a link below. Come along, have a look, see if it's for you. If you want to support me there, that'd be fantastic to help me make more music and to keep on doing this type of stuff. So fantastic. Thank you very much. Cool. Have a look down there. Okay, cool. So last week was the last week, fingers crossed, of homeschooling. So as if you've been following along, it's been a massive knock-on to what I can do in the studio in the day. And then it's a massive knock-on for how I feel to do anything in the evenings and stuff like that. Been getting better with that, but it's still tough. So I'm glad that it was the last week, and then today, Monday the 8th, we are back into school. Fingers crossed that lasts. And fingers crossed that we can all start getting and moving forward and getting back with everything that we want to get back with. But last week, managed to get a lot of work done on the collaborations I'm working with, which was great, especially the songs or the jobs that I've been hiding from. Last week's video, I mentioned that sometimes it's easier to say, oh, that's more interesting, I'm going to go and do a lot of work on that, than do something that needs the job sort of work. So purposely pushed myself into that place where I needed to do the work last week to get these jobs moving, and I'm happy that I have, because I think that's broken the back of it. So now that it's not as much hard work to get that done, but sometimes it's like any job really, you've got to say, I've got to focus on this now, I've got to do this. It's not what I want to do, that's what I want to do, because that's dead interesting and dead fun, but I've got to work on this. So I did that, and that was great. So those songs are now pushing forward. Last week again, I worked more listens on the Speechless EP, and I started to plan when I was going to release that. So all those things started to move forward as well. Still got a few tweaks on some of the mixes before I start mastering that EP, but that's on its process on movement, which is great. There was lots and lots of more guitar practice, to the point where I've actually split my finger. I can't see it. I've had the magnifying glass on it. I don't know if I've got a splinter in there, or whether I've split it. I think I've split some of the skin. I've done it before and it really hurts, but you still have to keep on playing. So there's lots and lots of practice there. Started that practice routine and regime on what techniques I want to do. So started that last week. I'm happier. I'm feeling happier with it. There was lots more work on Amplitude. As I've said, trying to learn the app because it's so big. Not just plugging in and playing, trying to learn more about it, which was good, and using that to help me to build my live, real hard sort of hardware pedal board. I like Amplitude. I think it's fantastic. The sounds and the modelling is amazing, but I've never been able to get on with pedals inside of an app. It just doesn't. I'm an old school type of player, so I like to touch things and stamp on things and know that it's there and it's physical, it's real. Amplitude sounds great, but I just prefer it on the floor, and I prefer it so I can work it that way. So I've been working a lot on my pedal board, but using Amplitude to help me to see which sounds I want to get, which is great. The pedal board is coming on. Still lots of research done on that last week. I'll put a picture up here of the pedal board. The way it is now, not everything's connected, but I have got further down the line and actually said I'm going to go for that, this, that and that, and then I'm selling this and that. So we're working on that. So that was good. One big thing I did last week as well, which was really frustrating me, was I use Studio One as one of my DAWs, one of my DAWs. I use two. I use Studio One and I use Logic Pro. But Studio One has been frustrating me because there's a fantastic new feature on Studio One version 5, which is a live feature or a show feature, which is exactly what I want to use to get back and doing some shows online. I used to do it years ago with Logic Pro, and I had it all routed and set up and stuff like that. That was probably back in 2017, maybe 2018. But it was a real faff. It was real hard work to get it to work. So Studio One brought out this new part of their program, which looked great, and I tried to use it, and I was getting so frustrated because the latency was just unusable. You couldn't use it. I tried to find it out, and I figured out how to get the latency down so I can actually use it. So that was good. That was a big plus. So I started building some set lists from there and started to do some work on being able to play with all the music, not just doing acoustic live streams, which is great. But I want some variations. I don't want to just do. I've done about a year and a half. I haven't live streamed for a while now, but I did about a year and a half solid of just doing acoustic versions of the songs, and that was lovely and it was great. But I want to be able to do it more as a full band, as the sound of the albums, and how I hear it in my head. But that was cool. So I managed to get that worked. A bit of work on that last week, which was great. So that was last week. So yes, homeschool was hard work. Homeschool impacted on what I could do, but I still managed to get a lot of work done, which was great. Okay, cool. Okay, so this week coming up, we've got the kids back to school, which is great, which means I can get the studio back. Hooray! So in that studio time, I've got to plan now and organise my next month forward. To say what songs I'm going to work on for the new album, because they're all sitting there and they've all been waiting and wanting that time, and me as a musician and as a creator, I've been wanting to give that time to those songs and to get things moving, but it's just been, it's one of those things, I just couldn't do it. So planning that time out, I run my home studio as a studio, so when I get other jobs come in, when I'm hired by other people to do things, I plan that time and I put it into blocks of time, and I plan it out like a proper studio, and I do that with my own music. I found from the first couple of albums that I did that I just did them sort of haphazard and just like went in, did something, did this and did that, and I actually found that took longer, and it was a lot more frustrating because I was sort of having to chase my tail and see where I was. So the last album, Comfortable Skin, that I did it the way that I've just described. So I'd block out time, I'd say that's the session for that song, that's the session for this song, this session goes here, that amount of time, and it worked really well, and that allowed me to also bring in other work from outside, which is also good. But that's cool. So planning that, remastering the Speechless EP once I've finalised the listens and said I'm okay. That shouldn't take too long. Planning on getting that done this week. Coming up, lots more guitar practice again, getting that practice routine in, and I want to refine the targets of what I want to achieve. So I've targeted some techniques on what I want to do, and basically I want to get myself out of playing the same old patterns. I don't know, guitar players out there, you might agree with me. Sometimes you can fall into a rut if you play the same pattern across the board, or you say playing the same boxes, and then you end up sort of, when you just jam in or solo in, you sound the same all the time, and I'm fed up with that. I don't want to do that anymore. When I write a song, I purposely, when it comes to a solo, if there's a guitar break in that song, I will purposefully try and listen to the song without a guitar in my hand. Sometimes I'll just play and that's what happens, but a lot of the time I will listen for the solo in my head, what I want it to do, and then approach the guitar then. Because I did find that most of the time I was just playing the same thing because I'm just stuck in the same boxes and I feel like stuck literally in a box. So that's one of the techniques that I'm trying to get away from, and I know the fretboard really, really well, but I'm trying to figure out some different ways and how to play and how to approach it, which is cool. Lots more work on my pedal board, on my rig. The picture that I showed you before, it's up here again. It's not wired up, everything's not wired in yet. I haven't decided on which order I'm going to put things on the board, and I do think I'm going to go for a switcher, a looper pedal, a pedal switcher. I've researched a lot of them. If I do go with one, it's probably going to be the Quartermaster from Gig Rig. I've just got to justify that it is going to be worth the investment with how I'm going to use it. So that's a big thing for next week. I'm moving away from Amplitude at this minute in time as well, and I'm going back to playing my live rig, which is an AC30. So that's part of the process now of learning the new board and taking it away from Amplitude. No matter how good it is, it's fantastic, but I just like to feel the air in the room with the real amp and see how the board is reacting with the real amp, not the simulated amp. As ever, more work for my crew, the Patreon crew, getting them some more exclusive material coming out to those guys and gals. Fantastic. And more content on YouTube. I really need to get that Guitars, Songs and Home Studios episode out. I didn't manage it last week. I really need to try and work on that this week, which is good. But there you go. So a busy week up ahead, but it's all good fun. Best job I've ever had. So thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed that. Please come over to Spotify or wherever you get your music. Have a listen to my music on there, Key and Sparks. Come over to the website www.keyandsparks.com. Find out what's going on. Join me on Spotify and Facebook and get in the conversation. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please leave a comment down below. Let me know whether you like real amps or whether you're into Amplitude and simulations and stuff like that. Or if you've used Studio One Live or Studio One Show or whatever it's called. So, thanks for being here. Until next time, have a great week and I'll see you again soon. Peace.